caught wife's 18-month affair, divorced her, then her art show dropped a bombshell secret that changed everything. I'm 36, just a regular guy who spent the last decade thinking I had it all figured out. My wife, Claire, and I have been married for 11 years. We've got 2 kids, a 9-year-old daughter who's all about art and glitter, and a 6-year-old son who's glued to anything with wheels. I'm a landscaper, dirt under my nails, sunburned shoulders. But it's good work, keeps us comfortable. Claire's a freelance graphic designer, working from home, juggling clients and crayons. We've always been a unit, balancing chaos with love. Weekend barbecues, movie nights with the kids sprawled across us, spontaneous drives to the lake. I thought we were golden. We met at a community art fair years back. I was hauling plants for a booth, and she was sketching in the corner, hair in a messy bun. I tripped over a pot. She laughed, and we hit it off. Early marriage was a whirlwind. Broke, living in a tiny apartment, arguing over bills, but we made it work. I'd bring her coffee when she pulled all-nighters. She'd doodle silly cartoons of me to cheer me up. We saved up, bought a fixer-upper with a big yard, and turned it into our haven. Claire called it our little empire, and I believed it. Maybe I was too comfortable. About 18 months ago, things started shifting. It was subtle, easy to miss if you weren't paying attention. Claire got distracted. She'd be on her laptop, headphones in, and I'd catch her smiling at the screen. Not her usual client's happy grin, but something softer, secret. She'd snap it shut when I walked by, saying, "Just work stuff," but her cheeks would flush. I'd tease her. "What? Designing for the president now?" And she'd laugh, but it didn't reach her eyes. She stopped joining me on the porch for our nightly chats, blaming deadlines. I figured freelancing's unpredictable. Some months are brutal, so I let it slide. Then the changes piled up. She started dressing up more. Not for me, but for confidence, she said. New tops, tighter jeans, perfume I didn't buy her. She'd leave the house for client meetings in the city, an hour away, coming back late with vague stories. Oh, they wanted revisions, ran long. I'd offer to drive her, but she'd wave me off. "I'm fine, don't worry." Her phone became her shadow, always in her hand, buzzing at odd hours. I'd ask, "Who's that?" and she'd mutter, "Spam," or "a friend," and change the subject. I'd catch her typing fast, giggling, then locking it when I got close. My gut twisted, but I told myself I was paranoid. One night, it hit me harder. The kids were asleep, and I was fixing a sprinkler in the yard. Claire was inside, on a work call. Door cracked, lights dim. I finished early, walked in quiet, and heard her voice. Low, playful, not her professional tone. "You're ridiculous," she said, laughing then. "No, I can't, not tonight." My stomach dropped. I stepped closer, and she saw me. Eyes wide, phone down fast. "Gotta go," she muttered, hanging up. "Who was that?" I asked, casual but firm. "A client," she said, too quick. "They're picky." I nodded, but the air felt thick. She bolted to the kitchen, rattling dishes, avoiding me. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I tried talking. "Hey, you've been off lately." I said over coffee, "Kids at school. Everything okay?" She sighed, dramatic. "I'm just busy. You're imagining things." I pushed. That call last night sounded personal. Her face hardened. "What, you're spying now? I don't need this." She stormed off, leaving me stunned. I didn't accuse her. I just wanted truth. That night, she left her phone on the table while showering. I stared at it, heart pounding. I'm not proud, but I checked. Passcode's still our anniversary. Texts to her sister, the kid's teacher, and a locked app, some chat thing I didn't recognize. I couldn't crack it, but why hide it? I put it back, guilt and dread mixing. I couldn't shake it. Her excuses got flimsier, late nights, networking events with no details. She'd come home smelling like wine, not ink, brushing it off. Client took us out. I started watching closer. Found a receipt in her coat. Dinner for 2, fancy place, dated a work-from-home night. My head spun. I confided in my brother, Tom, over beers. "Sounds off," he said. "You sure she's not, you know?" I didn't want to hear it, but he offered help. "I know a guy, tech stuff. Can check her laptop if you want." I hesitated, felt wrong, but nodded. Just something concrete. A week later, Tom handed me a drive. He got into her cloud. He said, grim. "Emails, mostly." I plugged it in alone, hands shaking. Messages to J, no name, Just initials. Can't stop thinking about last time. You make me feel alive. He doesn't suspect. My chest caved. Dates lined up. 18 months of this. Overlapping our anniversaries, kids' birthdays. Photos too. Blurry, artsy, but her in a dress I'd never seen. A man's arm around her. Not me. I sat there, numb, the garage spinning. My Claire, my wife, had another life. I didn't confront her. She'd twist it, and I'd be the bad guy. So I'm stuck, smiling at breakfast, kissing her goodbye, while I figure this out. The kids are clueless, my everything, and I'm terrified they'll get hurt. I love you from her stabs now. She's planning a girls' trip next weekend. Another lie, I bet. I've got the emails, but I need more to nail it shut. Am I overreacting? Should I call her out? I'm a wreck. Any thoughts? Update 2. After those emails, I couldn't pretend anymore. I kept up the act, mowed the lawn, helped with homework, laughed at Claire's jokes, but it was a mask. Inside, I was unraveling. She'd hum around the house, all chipper, while I'd catch her sneaking glances at her phone, typing when she thought I wasn't looking. That girl's trip was coming, and I knew it wasn't real. I had to know the truth, even if it broke me. I leaned on Tom again. I need more. I told him, voice low. Who's Jay? He got his tech guy back. Risky, but I was past caring. Meanwhile, I played detective. Checked her car, found a parking stub from a downtown garage, dated a client meeting. Her laptop was locked tighter now, new password, but I noticed her sketchbook, usually sacred, left out. I flipped through, doodles for the kids, then a page with J+C in a heart, scratched out fast. My blood ran cold. She was slipping, getting cocky. The girls' trip hit. Just me and some old college friends, she said, packing a bag. Fancy stuff, not camping gear. I nodded, kissed her cheek, and said, have fun. The kids were with Tom's wife, so I followed her. Felt like a creep, but I tailed her car to the city. No campground, but a swanky loft district. She parked, went inside a building. I waited, heart pounding, then saw a guy, tall, artsy, tattoos, meet her at the door. They hugged, close, then disappeared upstairs. I snapped pics, blurry but damning. My hands shook so bad I dropped my phone. Tom's guy came through that night. Hacked her chat app, he said via text, sending files. I opened them alone. Messages to Jonah. Missed you at the gallery. Can't wait for this weekend. He's so predictable. It's easy. My stomach lurched. Jonah, some artist, I guessed, gushing back. You're my muse. Leave him. We'll run away. 18 months of this. Dates, meetups, even a weekend I'd been away fixing a client's yard. They'd used our house. Our bed. I found a photo. Claire in his arms, laughing, a studio behind them. I dry heaved in the sink. I wanted to barge in, but I held back. Needed a plan. Called my sister-in-law, Lisa, Tom's wife, a lawyer. Divorce? She asked, gentle. Maybe, I said. Just options. She agreed to help, discreetly. I kept playing husband. Dinner ready when Claire got back Sunday. All smiles. Trip was great, she chirped, unpacking. Good, I said, voice tight. She didn't notice. Too busy texting. Jonah, I knew now. The kids ran in, hugging her, and I nearly broke. They're why I'm still here. Now I'm plotting. Lisa's drafting papers, but I'm not sure. Claire's clueless, planning a date night, for us, like that fixes this. Jonah's real, and I've got proof piling up. The kids don't know, but this'll hit them hard. I still love her, hate that I do, and it's tearing me apart. Should I confront her? Wait, I'm lost. Any advice? Update 3. After finding out about Jonah, I couldn't keep pretending. Playing the happy husband while Claire texted her lover under my roof was shredding me. I'd catch her grinning at her phone, humming like life was perfect, and I'd clench my fists to keep from screaming. The date night she planned, dinner at our favorite Italian place, felt like a cruel joke. I went along, smiled through pasta and wine, but my mind was on those emails, that photo of her with him. She chattered about work, oblivious, while I planned my move. Lisa, my sister-in-law, had the divorce papers ready. Rough draft, she said, just in case. She urged me to confront Claire with evidence, not emotions. She'll twist it otherwise, Lisa warned. I agreed, but I needed more than texts and pics. Tom's tech guy dug again, found a hidden email account Claire used, linked to her freelance gigs. Messages to Jonah poured out. He's so clueless. Can't wait to paint with you again. I'll tell him soon. Soon. My blood boiled. She'd planned to leave me, stringing me along while she played artist with this guy. There were bank transfers too. Small, but hers to him. Labeled supplies. My money, funding their fling. The breaking point hit a week ago. Claire said she had a late client call at home. Door shut, laptop on. I'd had enough. I waited till the kids were at a sleepover, then grabbed my proof. Printouts, pics, the works. She came out after, all relaxed, and I said, "We need to talk." She frowned, sensing it. "What's wrong?" I laid the stack on the table. "Who's Jonah?" Her face went white, eyes darting to the papers. What is this?" she stammered. I pointed to the photo. 18 months, Claire. You've been lying to me, to the kids. Explain. She crumpled, hands shaking. "It's not what you think," she started, voice small. "He's just a friend, a collaborator." I laughed, bitter. "Friends don't say I love you or sneak around my house." She flinched, tears welling. "Okay, it got out of hand," she admitted. "I met him at a gallery event. He gets my art, my dreams, you don't." That stung. Landscaping's not glamorous, but I'd supported her career, her passion. "So you cheated because I'm not artsy enough?" I snapped. She sobbed. "No, I felt trapped. You're so steady, and I needed more." "More?" I yelled, losing it. "I gave you everything. Our home, our kids, and you threw it at him." She reached for me, crying. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I love you too." Too. I stepped back. "You don't get both." "Nick." She froze, then whispered, "I can't lose you." I tossed the papers at her feet. "You already did. I'm filing for divorce." She collapsed, wailing. "No. Please, we can fix this." I grabbed my keys and left, her sobs echoing behind me. I crashed at Tom and Lisa's that night. The kids didn't know yet. I told them I was helping Uncle Tom, but Claire blew up my phone. Texts. "I'm sorry. I'll end it. Don't do this to us." Voicemails, her voice breaking. "I messed up, but I choose you." I didn't reply. Next day, she showed up at Lisa's, begging through the door. "Let me explain to the kids with you," she pleaded. Lisa stepped in, "Not now," and Claire left, defeated. I hated seeing her like that, but I couldn't unhear "he gets my dreams." Then came the twist. Jonah emailed me, found my work address online. "I'm sorry, man," he wrote. "Didn't know she was so deep with you. I'm out." Attached was a screenshot, Claire telling him it was over, dated that morning. He added, "She's a mess. Don't give up on her." I stared, floored. The guy she cheated with was dumping her and rooting for me? I didn't respond, didn't know him that, but it shook me. Was she serious about ending it? Claire doubled down. She quit freelancing with Jonah's circle, started therapy, left me notes through Lisa, "I'll fight for us." She even painted me something, a portrait of our family, left on my truck with "I'm so sorry" scrawled on it. It hit hard. I still loved her despite the rage. The kids asked, "When's Mom coming home?" I sat them down, gentle. "Mom and I are figuring things out, but we love you no matter what." My daughter hugged me. My son nodded, but their eyes were sad. "It's killing me." Here's the kicker. Lisa's friend, Meg, a single mom I've met at barbecues, reached out. "Heard you're going through it," she texted. "Coffee sometime." She's kind, funny, been through her own divorce. We met up, platonic, just talking, and clicked. She gets my pain, doesn't push, but there's a spark. Claire found out, spotted us at the cafe, and flipped. "You're moving on already?" she yelled over the phone. "I'm trying to fix us." I shot back. "You broke us. 18 months of lies." She hung up, and now she's pushing harder. Therapy invites, promises to be the wife I deserve. I'm torn. Jonah's gone, Claire's begging, and the kids want us whole. Meg's a breath of fresh air, but is it too soon? I've got the papers, but my heart's a mess. Divorce feels right, but her tears haunt me. Did I overreact? Should I give her a chance? Update 4. After confronting Claire, I couldn't stay in our old house. Too many ghosts. I told her I needed space, packed a bag, and moved to Lisa and Tom's for a bit. She didn't fight it, just nodded through tears, saying, "I'll wait for you." I hated leaving the kids, but we worked out a schedule. Half the week with me, half with her. Dropping them off gutted me. My daughter clung to my leg, whispering, "Fix it with Mom." And my son asked, "Are we still a family?" I hugged them tight. "Always," I said, "just different now." Claire watched, silent, her eyes pleading, but I drove off. The divorce was rolling. Lisa finalized the papers. 50-50 custody, split assets. No house for either of us yet. Claire didn't contest much, just asked to keep her art studio stuff. You should have the rest, she said, voice soft. I owe you that. I nodded, numb. Her guilt was real, but it didn't erase the betrayal. She kept up the effort. Therapy updates texted to me. I'm working on me. Paintings left at my truck, voicemails begging for a chance. I ended it with Jonah for good, she'd say. I see what I lost. I listened sometimes, deleted most, couldn't let her in again, not yet. Meg became my unexpected anchor. That coffee turned into lunches, then a picnic with her son and mine. Both wheel-obsessed, instant buddies. She's warm, steady, doesn't pry, but listens like she's been there. My ex cheated too, she told me once, stirring her tea. Took years to trust again. We'd laugh about dumb stuff. Her terrible gardening attempts, my knack for breaking lawnmowers, and it felt easy. One night, dropping her off, she squeezed my hand. You're stronger than you think, she said, eyes soft. My heart flipped. First time I'd felt that spark since Claire. We left it there, slow and cautious. Claire caught wind. Small town, big mouths. She showed up at my rental, kids at her mom's, furious. You're dating already? She yelled, pacing my porch. I'm killing myself to fix us. And you're with her? I stayed calm. You killed us. 18 months with Jonah. I'm allowed to breathe. She deflated, tears streaming. I know I messed up, but I love you. Doesn't that count? I looked at her, still beautiful, still mine once, and said, it did. Not anymore. She left the painting she'd brought, us on our wedding day, and I kept it, unopened, in the garage. Couldn't toss it, couldn't face it. Then the twist hit. Jonah showed up, at my work, of all places. I was mulching a client's yard when this scruffy guy in paint-splattered jeans walked up. You're Claire's husband, right? He said, hands in pockets. I tensed, nodded. Ex-husband, soon. He sighed, looking tired. I'm Jonah. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I stared, fists clenching. You slept with my wife for a year and a half. Save it. He shook his head. She chased me, said you were done. I backed off when I knew the truth. She's wrecked over you. I laughed sharp. Good for her. Why were you here? He shrugged. Closure, I guess. She's not my muse anymore. He walked off, and I stood there, reeling. Her lover, apologizing? It didn't fix anything, but it shifted something. Claire flipped the script after that. She stopped begging, started acting normal. Dropped the kids off with smiles, no tears. Therapy's helping, she said once, casual. I get why you're done. I nodded, wary, too easy. Then my daughter spilled it. Mom's painting again, happier. I checked her social media, new posts, vibrant art, no Jonah traces. She'd sold a piece, big commission. Part of me was proud. Her talent was real, part stone. Why now, not for us? I let it go, her life, not mine. Meg and I grew closer. A movie night at her place. Kids crashed on the couch, turned into a kiss. Soft, tentative, then deeper. I like you, she whispered, but no pressure. I grinned. Same. It's light. No labels, but real. The kids love her. My daughter drew her a flower. My son races her son with toy cars. Claire noticed, asked once, is it serious? I said, it's my business now. She nodded, quiet, but her jaw tightened. She's civil, but I see the hurt. The divorce finalized last week. Papers signed, house on the market, split the profit later. Claire moved to an apartment, kept her studio gear, and I took the rental. She texted after, I'll always love you. Be happy. I didn't reply, didn't need to. The kids adjusted. My son brags about 2 yards. My daughter's sketching more, opening up. I miss mom with us, she admitted. But I like Meg. I hugged her. You're my priority, I said. She smiled, small but true. Here's the new twist. Claire's ex-client, a gallery owner, called me. She's showing her work soon, he said. Mentioned you inspired it. Wanted you there. I froze. Her art, our past on display? I said no. Hung up, but it nagged me. Meg offered to go with me. If you want closure. And I'm tempted. Jonah's gone. Claire's rebuilding. And I'm free. But the pull's there. I still love her, buried deep, and hate it. Meg's my future. Maybe, but is it fair to her? Divorce is done, but I'm not. Update 5. After the divorce finalized, thought I'd feel free, but it was messy. Claire's shift to normal threw me. Her calm drop-offs, her art posts, no more begging. I'd see her with the kids, smiling, and wonder if I'd misjudged her change. She'd text logistics, soccer's at 5, and I'd reply, short, keeping distance. The house sold fast. We split the cash, and I bought a mower with my half. Landscaping's my therapy now. The kids settled into the rhythm. My daughter started a sketchbook for both houses. My son raced cars between yards. They're my rock, and I vowed to keep them steady. Meg and I grew solid. That kiss turned into dinners, park days, quiet nights after the kids crashed. She's a light, funny, real, doesn't flinch at my baggage. You're not broken, she told me once, hand on mine. Just bent. We took the kids camping, her son, my two, and they bonded, roasting marshmallows, giggling at my terrible ghost stories. My daughter said, Meg's cool, Dad, and my son asked if she'd stay. I grinned, maybe, and meant it. We're official now, no rush, no ring talk. I'm done with marriage, and she gets it. Her ex soured her too. Claire's gallery invite lingered. I wrestled with it, closure or a trap. Meg pushed gently. Go if you need to, she said. I'll be here. I decided to, alone, no kids, no Meg. The night came, a small venue downtown, artsy crowd buzzing. Claire's work lined the walls, vibrant, raw stuff. Then I saw it, a huge canvas of us, me, her, the kids, laughing in our old yard, painted like a memory cracked down the middle. The plaque read, for what I lost. My throat tightened. She spotted me, walked over, no tears, just quiet. Thanks for coming, she said. It's my apology, on canvas. I nodded, voice rough. It's good. You're good. She smiled small. I'm trying. Therapy's hard. But I see now. I broke us for nothing. I asked Jonah. She shook her head. Gone for good. He was a fantasy. I'm real now. We stood there, the past heavy between us. I forgive you, I said, meaning it. Be happy. She teared up, hugged me quick, first time in months, and I left. Didn't look back. Closure, finally. Then the twist hit. A week later, my daughter came home from Claire's, upset. Mom's got a boyfriend, she blurted. He's weird. My son nodded, he's loud. I froze. Claire dating? I called her calm. Who's this guy? She sighed. Evan, a musician. It's new, casual. The kids met him too soon, my mistake. I bristled, some stranger around my kids, but she added, I'll slow it down. They come first. I let it go, trusting her, but checked his socials. Tattooed, brash, not Jonah's vibe. My daughter said, he's not like Meg, and I hugged her. You don't have to like him. Just tell me anything. She nodded, relieved. Meg stepped up. Bring him over more, she offered, and we made my place the fun zone. Crafts, car races, pizza nights. Claire's Evan faded from their chatter. Turns out he's a fling, not sticking. She texted me after. He's out. Kids hated him. Lesson learned. I smirked. Her mess, not mine. Meanwhile, Meg's ex resurfaced, wanting custody chats, and I backed her up, went to mediation with her, held her hand. You're my team, she said, grateful, and I felt it. Partnership, no lies. The final curve came yesterday. Claire dropped the kids off, lingered. I'm moving, she said. A studio upstate, better gigs, fresh start. I'll visit tons, keep custody split. My gut twisted, farther from the kids, but she added, you're their home base now. They need you. I nodded, stunned. You sure? She smiled, sad. Yeah, I lost you. I won't lose them too. We hugged, long and real. No sparks, just history. She drove off, and I watched, mixed, proud she's growing, sad it took this. Today's quiet. Meg's here, kids playing, and I'm okay. Claire's not the villain, just flawed, and I wish her well, miles away. Meg's my now, maybe forever, and the kids thrive. I skipped the gallery life, chose this, muddy boots, loud laughs, trust. Did I rush the end? Maybe. Regrets? Few. I'm whole, scars and all. Thanks for everything. I'm out, living it.